What is going on, my beautiful friends and family here on Team Acne? Today, I want to talk to you guys about going in public, going outside of the house, seeing other people when your acne is flaring up, when it's being severe, or really just when you're not feeling secure about your face because of your acne or your redness or anything like that. Now, I personally have had a ton of experience with this, especially with my acne being as severe as it was. When it did get to its worst, I was having cysts all over my face. My face was extremely red. People were commenting on it decently often, and even to this day where my face is a lot more clear, you see I have a couple pimples, a couple of breakouts. I'll get pimples and cysts that will become very, inflamed and are very obvious, and I know that people are going to notice them. And so today I just wanted to talk you through what I do and what my advice is to go with it, go through it with the best attitude and just give you the best tips that I have. Now, recently I had one pop up onto my face. I had a cyst really get kind of inflamed and big, and I go to the gym every single day. Now, one thing I do think is important is that you don't let your acne stop you from doing the things that you love every single day. You don't want to get locked into the house and just do nothing all the time. So let's go over to the clip where I show you guys the cyst that was on my face while I was at the gym. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Monday to all you guys. I hope you're having a good start to your week. And this is a Motivation Monday and a Self-Esteem Monday because I want to point out this right on my face. I know you noticed it before you came in here, but what is this? This is a very, very large whitehead. It's actually a little bit yellow because it's so big. It's a cyst. Now, I've told you guys thousands of times, don't pop your cysts, don't pop your zits. You got to let them stay there. But the challenge is when you're at a gym, which I just got out of, and how are you going to go into a public place and not pop it, not get it ready and stuff, right? Because it's embarrassing sometimes to go in public and have people look at it. But if you have a true sight of what you want to do and you don't let other people manipulate what your agenda is, you will be so much happier because you're living on your terms. And the fact that you have this doesn't matter because you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Versus letting other people scare you into doing things that you never intended to do in the first place. So stay strong, guys. Stay confident. I love you. All right, so as you can see in that clip, I definitely had a big whitehead on my face, and especially when people aren't used to seeing you with, a big cyst, then you know that people are gonna talk to you about it. Definitely people did talk to me about it, and I think as I've gotten older and as I've experienced acne more and more, it's gotten easier for me. Now, when I first was breaking out, 15, 16, 17, 18, it used to crush my self-confidence, my self-esteem, and especially when I would wake up, and you guys, I know you know this, and I know you relate with this. You wake up, you go to the mirror, you look in your face, and you go right up to the mirror, this close to the mirror, right? And you look at every part of your face. You pick about every imperfection you have, you pick it apart. One thing I do want to say is that in real life, no one is getting this close to you, right? You are always your biggest critic. You're always going to be the one who's looking at your face and tearing it apart the absolute worst. The other thing I want to mention is that I think that most people are kind, or I think that most people aren't thinking about you. They're probably thinking about themselves, or they just aren't thinking about, whatever it is that you're insecure about at all. I think the thing that we get stuck with is the people who are the most negative or who are the most insecure with themselves and like to bring it out on other people are the ones that are the loudest. So it's a very small amount of people, but they're definitely the loudest people. So a lot of times it makes us feel like everybody is looking at our face and our acne and really just picking us apart. And it's not necessarily true. Most people don't even notice your acne, and the ones that do probably don't really care that much. A lot of times, like with my ex-girlfriends and stuff, I'll ask them, did you ever notice my acne? And they'll say, oh, I never even really thought about it until you brought it up. Now I'm looking at it and I don't really care that much. It's actually not, it doesn't affect me at all. It doesn't make me any less attracted to you or anything like that. So that's something that you have to keep in mind as well, is that, again, you are your biggest critic. Now, another thing that I think is really, really important is that when it comes to acne, or really when it comes to any self-esteem issue, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, because it can be so easy to lock yourself into your house, into your room, right? Especially nowadays, you can play video games, you can get on your phone all day, or you can watch YouTube. Maybe that's what you're doing right now, all day. And that's a good way to escape. And sometimes we need a little balance, sometimes we need to be alone. But when you allow yourself to do it every single day, when you allow yourself to cancel your plans, when you were gonna hang out with your friends this weekend and get sushi or whatever, but now you're not going to, or you were gonna go do, that sport that you love to do, but now you canceled it because you have that acne, you don't want people to see you, maybe you don't want people to make fun of you. That's when acne starts to ruin your life. That's when it starts to really screw up your life, because first off, it's stopping you from living your life. It's stopping you from doing the things that you really enjoy. But also, when you accept not doing something and staying in your comfort zone, it doesn't push you to become more comfortable with your acne. So you don't build and train your self-esteem, right? The way I like to think about it is like, I don't know, like if you walk around barefoot outside, right? You start to grow a callus. And so a lot of things that, will, poke you, like little pebbles and things that you step on, don't hurt you at all anymore. And it's kind of the same thing with acne. When you go to school or whatever and you hear the same insults all the time, they still do affect you, right? But the more you hear them, the more you deal with it, the less you care. The less it, stabs deep. It gets a lot less painful. And so you kind of grow like a callus of confidence, of self-esteem, and that itself is very, very helpful as well. So I always say, like with your comfort circle, right? If you've never stepped out of your comfort zone, your circle's this big. But each time you step an inch farther out, your circle becomes a little bigger and a little bigger. And if you just keep pushing yourself just a little bit more, eventually you'll find yourself a lot more comfortable in a lot more situations that you would not have found yourself comfortable in maybe 6 months ago or a year ago. Something else I always tell people whenever I get DMs from people saying that their self-esteem is really down at the moment, or they're just not feeling great, or people are bullying them, or they're just getting insulted a lot. This is something that I think can change the perspective of it. The people who are saying negative things to you a lot of times have never been through something hard like acne. They've never really had a hardship. I like to say all hardships will grow the same empathy even though they come from different places. So someone who deals with obesity, or someone like us who deals with skin problems, or eczema or acne or whatever it is, you generally have the same self-esteem issues as the other people. It just stems from different problems. And so that self-esteem can really cause you to grow empathy for people with hardships that you haven't actually been through yourselves. Hold on, there's a plane going over. Oh, away! Now, a lot of times when you're younger, a lot of people have never been through anything tough that would help them to become more empathetic to other people who are going through hard things. Now, even when you get a little bit older, a lot of people still have not had a lot of tough times when it comes to their self-esteem or hardships that would make them become more empathetic. Now, when people don't have anything that they've struggled through to be empathetic towards you, they don't think heavily about what their words are saying because they don't really think much of their words. They don't really think that their words have that much power. They don't think that their words can really affect you that much. They don't weigh the situation and understand that maybe you are already insecure about the thing that they are quickly making fun of when they say, ooh, crater face, pizza face, Rudolph. Whenever they say those kind of things, they aren't necessarily thinking, oh, he's already thinking that, she's already thinking that, and now I just pointed it out in front of 5 other people. And now that person is magnified about their self-esteem issue already. While it's malicious and it feels very terrible, a lot of times they aren't actually thinking about how terrible the things that they say are. So I always say this, with people who haven't been through something hard like what we're going through, I always say those people are saying shallow things. They're thinking very lightly. They aren't thinking heavily. So they aren't weighing their words before they say them. They aren't weighing what those words are going to do, what the ripples of those words are going to have the effect upon. They're not thinking about much anything at all. They're just speaking. And so I say, why do you weigh their words? Why do you give them more credit than they are actually earning? If they aren't thinking heavily about the words that they're saying, why would you give them so much credit? There's so many noises today. Ah! But I think you get my point, right? When it comes to bullying, or when it comes to people who are insulting you, a lot of times they just aren't thinking on a deep level at all. They're thinking a very, like, I say, white noise level. They're just blabbering because it feels good to talk. And so with those people, just realize that and don't take their words with as much weight as somebody who you respect more. If there's somebody that you respect who's making fun of you, then either you need to, reevaluate who you respect, or those people are really making mistakes. But people who are bullying you oftentimes are not the people that you actually are respecting or want to be like, right? They're just the people who, again, are the loudest. So there you go, my friends. From somebody who has gone through it and has definitely understood what you are going through, I just want to give you a couple of experiences from my own, experience, and give you some of the pieces of advice that have helped me. And I think it's such a shame to let life pass you by because you're too insecure or you're too embarrassed to go out and live your life because you don't want to, face what people are going to say about you. Life is tough and people are mean, and that's 100% true. But honestly, if you didn't have your acne, people would still figure something out to be mean about, or at least the mean people would, right? Because people in general are nice, but the loud ones are the negative ones, or the negative ones are the loud ones. So don't let people, discourage you from living your life. Go and do the things that make you happy. Go and do the things that you have fun doing. Go and do the things that you're passionate about, because that's what life is really about. Don't let acne stop you from doing those things and living your life. So just want to make this video real quick. If you guys have any tips or advice that you'd like to add, I'd love for you to put in the comments below, because we all scroll the comment section. And I just want to say that you are not alone. You are beautiful, and you're a part of Team Acne. I'll see you guys in the next video.